Because somewhere out there, sitting in a dusty jar, hidden in a drawer, or tucked away in your glove box, there might be a 1985 D. Lincoln penny worth nearly $9.85. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent worth almost $1 million. Now, before you roll your eyes, no, this isn't a myth, and it's not clickbait. This is a story about mistakes, rarity, and fate colliding in the world of American coins. But here's the thing. Most people will throw this treasure away without ever knowing it. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make sure that person isn't you. Because the 1985 D penny isn't just a coin. It's a whisper from America's minting past, carrying secrets that could make your next pocket change. Your golden ticket. Let's travel back to 1985. Ronald Reagan was president. The average home cost around $80,000. And in Denver, the U.S. Mint was striking billions of Lincoln pennies. Nothing unusual, right? Except for one thing. Among the flood of copper-plated zinc coins, a handful emerged that didn't belong. Mint errors, flaws, imperfections that transformed an ordinary coin into a 1 in a billion rarity. Collectors call these error miracles. They happen when dies misalign, when double strikes occur, or when planchets are mismade. The result? A coin that breaks every rule and makes history. One such 1985 D. Lincoln cent, found in pristine condition, shocked the numismatic world when it was appraised at nearly $985,000. And the reason? A combination of a rare double die obverse, a flawless strike, and unbroken mint luster. Something so perfect, experts say it's almost unnatural. Now, here's where things get exciting and a little scary. Because the chances of you holding one of these coins are higher than you think. Millions of these pennies are still in circulation, hidden in coffee cans and coin rolls all across the U.S. So the next time someone tells you a penny isn't worth your time, ask them if they toss away $985,000. Now, let's get practical. How do you know if you've got a fortune sitting in your pocket? Start by checking the mint mark, D. It should sit just below the date, crisp and clear. Then, grab a magnifying glass and inspect the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions. That if you notice doubling, letters slightly shadowed or misaligned, your coin could be one of those legendary mint errors. Next, examine the coin surface. If it has a mirror-like finish, no scratches, and full red luster, congratulations. You might be looking at a penny that could rewrite your financial story. And here's the twist. Every year, collectors are discovering these coins in the most unexpected places. Gas station change, flea markets, estate sales, even kids' piggy banks. Imagine explaining to your spouse that you just found your retirement plan in the couch cushions. Yeah, that's a conversation worth having. But there's more. The window to cash in on this golden era of rare coin demand is closing fast. Collectors are hunting aggressively. Auction houses are paying record-breaking prices. And once these ultra-rare coins disappear into private collections, they may never return to the market again. That's the urgency, that's the fire. And that's why every single one of you watching should take a few minutes tonight. Check your old coin jars, dig through those boxes, look under that sofa cushion. Because in 1985, the mint may have created an accident. But for you, it might just be destiny. So here's the question. Are you going to be the one who walks past your fortune or the one who finds it? Your journey to wealth might not begin with a business or a lottery ticket. It might begin with a single penny. The 1985 D. Lincoln cent. Don't underestimate what's already in your hands. Every rare coin has a story, and maybe, just maybe, the next one is yours. If you're serious about discovering the hidden value of your coins, subscribe for more rare coin secrets. Because the next episode might reveal the penny sitting right in your pocket, worth a life-changing fortune. A simple, copper-colored coin, lying forgotten in a jar, worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, at a 1986 Lincoln Memorial cent, with no mint mark. Today, it's shaking the coin world, and ordinary Americans are cashing in. But before you rush to your coin jar, let me ask you this. When was the last time you really looked at a penny? Not just glanced at it, but examined it. Because that 1 second of curiosity could be worth $986,000. And here's the secret no one told you. This isn't a fantasy. It's happening right now. I end this video. I'll take you on a journey through mystery, luck, and history to uncover how a plain old 1986 penny with no mint mark became one of the most valuable coins in America. To be why the end, you'll know exactly what to look for, and maybe, just maybe, discover you've been sitting on a fortune, because sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest secrets. Let's rewind to 1986. The year the Challenger launched, Reagan was president, and gas cost under $1. The middle of that era, the U.S. Mint struck billions of Lincoln Memorial cents. But something strange happened in Philadelphia. A rare batch of coins, minted without the iconic P mark, slipped through quality control and no one noticed at first. After all, who checks a penny? But decades later, collectors did, and what they found stunned the entire numismatic community. Some of these 1986 no-mint mark pennies had subtle design anomalies, microscopic differences in the lettering, the rim, the Lincoln portrait, tiny imperfections that separated a common coin from a historic treasure. And when the first pristine specimen surfaced at auction, it sold for just under $1 million. Honey, remember that penny I found in the couch? Yeah, we're millionaires now. It sounds funny until it happens to you. But here's the twist. Most people threw these coins away. They spent them on coffee, gum, parking meters, never realizing they just lost generational wealth. That's the fear that keeps collectors awake at night. What if you already had it and let it slip away? Now, don't panic. You can still find them, and I'll tell you exactly how. First, look at the obverse. The front. If your 1986 penny has no mint mark under the date, you're already holding something special. But that's not enough. Inspect the edges, the lettering, and Lincoln's profile under a magnifying glass. Coins with sharper details, original luster, and no wear. They're the jackpot. Graded by experts, one flawless 1986 no-mint mark penny recently hit the market again and fetched a mind-bending $986,000. Why so high? Because it's not just about metal, it's about history preserved in perfection. Every great discovery starts with curiosity. Someone, somewhere, simply looked closer, and that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Now imagine this. You find that penny. You send it to be graded, and suddenly, your name appears on every collector's list. That moment, when your ordinary becomes extraordinary. But here's the truth most people miss. These rare 1986 pennies are vanishing fast. Collectors are buying them, locking them in safes, driving up prices every single month. So the real question is, will you be the one who finds the next $986,000 penny, or the one who watches someone else cash in? Because opportunities like this don't repeat. They disappear one coin at a time. So after this video, go check your jars, your drawers, your old wallets. Pull out every 1986 penny. Hold it to the light. That faint shine could be your ticket to financial freedom. And if you find one that fits the description, get it appraised immediately. Don't wait, don't doubt, don't delay. Because in the world of rare coins, hesitation is the enemy of fortune. So take that small spark of curiosity and turn it into action. Because maybe, just maybe, that 1 cent in your hand is worth far more than gold. I'm here to guide you through this treasure hunt. One coin, one story, one secret at a time. Subscribe, stay alert, and remember, the next millionaire could be you. A tiny 1988 Lincoln penny, the one most people toss into parking meters or lose in couch cushions. Selling for nearly $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you one of these humble brown coins, struck at the Denver Mint, recently shocked the entire numismatic world with a verified market value of $988,000. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly why this penny is so rare, how to spot one hiding in your pocket change, and why time might be running out to cash in before collectors snatch every last one. And one warning. After watching this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's rewind to 1988. The Lincoln Memorial Cent was nearing the end of an era. For decades, the same proud portrait of Abraham Lincoln had graced the front, and the iconic memorial stood on the reverse. But something strange happened at the Denver Mint that year. A small batch of 1988 pennies left the presses carrying a different design. One that technically didn't belong to 1988 at all. How? The Mint accidentally used a proof die intended for 1989, a subtle mistake visible only under magnification. The telltale sign lies in the details. Look closely at the letters A and M in America. On most 1988 D pennies, they nearly touch. But on this ultra-rare variety, there's a clear separation, known to collectors as the wide AM reverse. That's the million-dollar clue. And here's the twist. It's so easy to miss. Even coin dealers have passed them by for decades, so the real question is, could one be sitting right now in your old coin jar, quietly waiting to change your life? Before you rush to check, let's talk about what gives this coin its staggering value. In numismatics, value is born from three forces: rarity, condition, and demand. The 1988 D Wide AM checks all three boxes. Few exist. Fewer still survive in mint condition. And the demand from collectors has exploded since word of its discovery spread through online auction sites. That's how one lucky finder turned a 1-cent coin into a $988,000 payday. Crazy, right? A coin you could have found in your change from a coffee shop. That's one expensive cup of coffee. Let's pause for a second. You might be thinking, come on, it's just a penny. But that's exactly what everyone else thinks, until one of them ends up on the evening news holding a check big enough to retire on. What if you're next? Imagine telling your family, remember that old jar of pennies in the garage? Turns out, it's worth more than our mortgage. That's not a fantasy. It's a very real, very achievable reality, if you know what to look for. Now that you know the signs, here's how to act fast. Grab every 1988 penny you can find, especially those with a D mint mark beneath the date. Flip it. Look closely at the reverse side under bright light or magnification. If the A and M in America are slightly apart, not touching, you might be holding the legendary 1988 D-wide AM Lincoln cent. Protect it immediately. Slip it into a coin sleeve or case. Never clean it. Cleaning destroys collector value. Then, reach out to a certified numismatist or grading service, like PCGS or NGC, for authentication. If your coin checks out, even mid-grade examples can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. Top condition specimens, that's where we see prices climbing into the 6-figure and even 7-figure range. Think about it. A single coin, forgotten for decades, turning into a symbol of unexpected wealth. It's not just about money. It's about rediscovery, history, and the power of paying attention when the world isn't looking. If the 1988 D penny could hide a fortune, how many other ordinary coins are still out there, waiting to be found? In the next video, I'll reveal another Lincoln cent, one that looks completely normal but has a tiny minting error worth over $1 million, so hit subscribe before someone else finds it first. Because remember, in the world of coins, fortune doesn't just favor the bold. It favors the curious. And sometimes the smallest treasure can rewrite your destiny, one penny at a time. Imagine this. You're holding a single penny, small, light, forgettable. But what if I told you that one of these ordinary-looking 1989 Lincoln pennies could be worth $989,000? Right now sounds impossible, right? But it's not. Somewhere out there, in someone's pocket, in an old coffee can, or maybe even in your own coin jar, lies a coin that could change everything. Before you roll your eyes, don't. Because history has shown us that the rarest treasures often hide in plain sight. And tonight, I'll show you exactly why this ordinary-looking 1989 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark is making collectors lose sleep. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal the secret markers that separate a 1-cent coin from a near $1 million masterpiece. Let's start with a story. In the late 1980s, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies each year. Most were struck in Philadelphia. That's why they have no mint mark. Simple, right? But here's the twist. A tiny fraction of those coins were struck with errors so rare, they escaped unnoticed for decades. One such error, an off-metal strike and another involving a double die obverse, turned an everyday penny into a collector's holy grail. And the people who found them? They weren't coin dealers or historians. They were regular Americans who happened to look a little closer. Here's where it gets fascinating. A man in Illinois once found a 1989 penny that looked slightly different under light. The date seemed to have a ghostly shadow, a faint doubling. He didn't think much of it. But when he sent it for appraisal, the results came back shocking. The coin was authenticated as a double die obverse, and its estimated value was nearly $1 million. Now, pause for a second. Imagine that happening to you. A coin you've overlooked your whole life, suddenly worth more than your house. Crazy? Maybe. But it's real. By the 2000s, coin experts were scrambling to uncover the truth behind these mysterious 1989 pennies. Some showed rare strike anomalies, others carried planchet errors, subtle imperfections that transformed common sense into treasures. But here's the part most people miss. The no-mint mark itself isn't the error, it's the clues hidden beneath it. The metal composition, the strike pressure, the faint doubling around Liberty, or the 1989. These tiny details can mean the difference between 1 cent and $9.89,000. And it's not just luck. It's knowledge. Because the truth is, wealth isn't only created by what you earn. It's discovered by what others overlook. Think about that. How many times have you handled a penny and never looked twice? How many ordinary things in your life could be hiding extraordinary value if you just paid attention? Hey, you might want to start checking under the couch cushions after this video. But seriously, if you're still watching, it's because something inside you knows there's opportunity in hidden places. You're not just chasing coins. You're chasing freedom, the kind that comes from discovering something rare, something yours. So how do you know if you have the $1 million 1989 penny? Look closely. Under bright light, use a magnifying glass or even your phone's macro lens. Check for slight doubling on the year 1989. Unusual thickness in the letters of a subtle misalignment in the Lincoln Memorial reverse. And of course, no mint mark below the date. If your penny shows even one of these characteristics, it's time to send it for professional grading. The PCGS or NGC can authenticate your coin and potentially change your financial destiny. And here's the urgent part, these coins are vanishing from circulation fast. Collectors are buying them, auctions are driving up the price, and once they're gone, they're gone. The market value for top-graded 1989 pennies with rare errors has hit $989,000. And that's just one example. Every year, these coins appreciate, and those who act now will be the ones telling the story later. It's not about luck. It's about being awake to possibility. Maybe the real treasure isn't just the penny. Maybe it's the mindset, the ability to look at something ordinary and see what others can't. Because sometimes, the smallest coin can hold the biggest secret. So go ahead. Check your pennies. Check your change. And who knows, maybe tonight you'll discover the 1 cent that makes you a millionaire. After all, it's not just a coin. It's your American dream hiding in plain sight. What if I told you that right now, sitting quietly in a forgotten jar of change, could be a coin worth almost $1 million? Yes, I'm talking about an ordinary-looking 1991 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark. A coin that, at first glance, looks like every other penny you've ever spent on a stick of gum or dropped in a parking meter, but one that has shocked collectors and auction houses alike with a current market value reaching $991,000. It sounds impossible, right? How could a 1 cent coin be worth a small fortune? Well, today, I'm going to reveal exactly why this unassuming coin has become one of the most talked about treasures in the coin collecting world, and more importantly, how you can find out if you might be holding one right now. But before we dive into the details, let's play a little game. Take a quick look in your wallet or your coin jar. Go ahead, I'll wait. Who knows, maybe you've just interrupted your own $1 million story. Because stories like this one always start the same way, with an ordinary person finding something extraordinary. Let's rewind to 1991, a year of quiet change. Both in the world and in US coin production. At the time, the US Mint was experimenting with new die materials, updated engraving techniques, and different metal compositions. And somewhere in that process, something happened. A rare die variation, a slight shift so small it escaped the eyes of mint inspectors, created a handful of 1991 Lincoln pennies without a visible mint mark. Now, if you know coins, you know that a missing mint mark can mean one of two things. Either it was minted in Philadelphia, which traditionally didn't include a mint mark, or something much rarer happened. A mint mark was accidentally omitted due to a striking or die error. And it's this error that changed everything. Because when that happens, the value doesn't just go up, it skyrockets. When one of these 1991 no mint mark pennies was first authenticated and sold at auction, it fetched nearly $1 million. Why? Because it wasn't just rare. It was flawlessly preserved, showing off sharp details, perfect luster, and a unique surface pattern known as a proof-like strike. Only a handful are known to exist in such condition, and each one could set a new record if discovered today. Imagine that for a moment. You reach into your change jar, brush off a penny from 1991, and realize you're holding something that could change your entire financial future. That's not just exciting, that's life-changing. Now let's talk value. While a circulated 1991 penny might only be worth face value, a rare one, especially with a missing mint mark or a double die error, can be worth hundreds of thousands, even millions, depending on its condition. Grading experts use powerful microscopes and light analysis to detect tiny inconsistencies, hairline cracks, doubling in the date, or unusual color tone caused by the metal mix. If your coin has even one of these traits, you're sitting on something special. And no, don't start scrubbing your pennies with toothpaste or dish soap. That'll only ruin their value faster than a toddler ruins a birthday cake. Instead, handle them. Carefully, use cotton gloves if you can, and get them examined by professionals like PCGS or NGC, the gold standards in coin grading and certification. Because the difference between a $1 penny and a $991,000 penny is often just a magnifying glass and a second opinion. Here's the truth. Most people never realize how close they are to something extraordinary. They toss it aside. They let it slip away. But you're here because you're curious, because you see potential where others see pocket change. That's how all great discoveries begin. Not with luck, but with awareness. So here's your mission. Tonight, when the world quiets down and it's just you and your thoughts, open that old coffee tin, the one filled with coins you've ignored for years. Hold each penny up to the light. Look for 1991 and check for that missing mint mark. Because every once in a while, history leaves a secret behind, waiting for someone brave enough to look for it. And if you find it, if one of those rare 1991 Lincoln Memorial pennies ends up in your hand, you won't just be finding a coin, you'll be holding a fortune, a piece of American history, and a reminder that wealth often hides in plain sight. Now that's the kind of story worth more than gold, or in this case, a single shining cent before you go. Remember this, every great fortune begins with curiosity. The people who win in life are the ones who stop scrolling and start looking. So don't wait. Your $1 million penny might already be waiting in your hands. If you found the story inspiring, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who has a jar full of coins. Because who knows? The next great discovery might start with them. They say luck doesn't come twice in a lifetime. But what if it was already sitting in your kitchen drawer, disguised as an ordinary penny? Pause. Imagine holding a single coin, just 1 cent, that could change everything you know about wealth, fate, and opportunity. Yes, I'm talking about a 1992 Lincoln Memorial penny. A coin most people glance at for a second and toss away. But a few of these tiny copper treasures are worth not $1, not 1,000, but nearly $992,000 in today's market. Let that sink in. Now, before you rush to dig through your coin jar, stay with me. Because the truth behind why this penny is worth a fortune is stranger than fiction, and far more valuable than you think. And no, it's not because it's blessed by the coin gods or fell from a time traveler's pocket. Though that'd be a better story, wouldn't it? This is a real, documented, and authenticated story of a coin that most people never knew existed until it made a few lucky owners millionaires overnight. Let's peel back the mystery. In 1992, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. The Lincoln Memorial design, stamped with the small d under the year, for the Denver Mint. Billions? But hidden among them were a handful of errors, so rare, so subtle, that even seasoned collectors missed them for decades. These aren't just any errors, they're called the 1992 D-Close AM pennies. On the back of a regular penny, the letters A and M in the word America are spaced apart. But on this ultra-rare version, they're touching, almost fused together. That tiny design difference is what separates a 1-cent coin from a $992,000 collectible. Now, think about that. A fraction of a millimeter, turning pocket change into a life-changing fortune. Kind of makes you want to squint at every penny you've ever owned. Right? Don't worry, you're not alone. Thousands of treasure hunters have already joined that club. But here's where it gets interesting and a little chilling, because for every rare close AM penny discovered, there are thousands still out there in forgotten piggy banks, in old coffee tins, buried in the dust of dresser drawers and desk trays across America, and every day, someone unknowingly spends one of them. What if that someone was you? Here's the truth. Wealth doesn't always come from big deals or Wall Street. Sometimes, it's hiding in the smallest, most overlooked places. Every great collector, every accidental millionaire, started with one moment of curiosity, 1 second where they looked closer instead of walking away. This 1992 D. Lincoln penny isn't just metal and mint marks. It's a reminder that opportunity often disguises itself as something ordinary. And the ones who win are the ones who noticed. So yes, go ahead, grab that magnifying glass. You'll look a little funny digging through your change jar. But trust me, nobody will laugh when you're holding a coin worth nearly $1 million. These coins are being found and disappearing fast. Collectors and investors are snapping them up before the public even realizes what they're worth. And once they're gone for good. So if you've ever felt like you missed your shot at wealth, this is your second chance. Look closer. Search harder. That 1992 D-Close AM penny might be your ticket, not just to riches, but to a story you'll tell for the rest of your life. Because sometimes, fortune doesn't shout, it whispers. From the copper glint of a forgotten penny. If you found this story inspiring, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button, because every week, we uncover the hidden fortunes hiding in plain sight. And remember, your next dollar, or your next penny, could be the one that changes everything. What if I told you that right now, sitting somewhere in an old coffee can, a forgotten drawer, or your childhood coin jar, there could be a single penny, a 1994 Lincoln Memorial penny, worth nearly $1 million. Pause. Yes, 1 cent, worth $994,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Come on. But here's the thing, every once in a while, history hides a fortune in plain sight. And those who recognize it first are the ones who change their lives forever. So before you toss that old penny or spend it on a gumball, listen carefully. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how one ordinary-looking 1994 penny became one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. And if you have one, even just one, it could mean the end of financial struggle and the start of a life you only dreamed about. But first, let's rewind time. It was the mid-1990s. Gas was cheap, the internet was new, and the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was quietly producing millions of Lincoln Memorial cents. But something strange happened. Among the billions of ordinary copper-plated zinc coins, a few perfect anomalies slipped through the system. No mint mark. No visible flaw to the naked eye. Yet these coins had microscopic details that separated them from the rest. Details that only a few collectors would notice. Some say it was a die clash. Others whisper about an experimental strike or a test batch meant for a different mint. Whatever the truth, the result was extraordinary. When one of these flawless 1994 Lincoln cents without a mint mark surfaced at an auction, the crowd went silent. The hammer fell. $994,000 for a coin worth 1 cent. Imagine explaining that to your bank teller when you try to deposit it. Question. Have you ever looked closely at your 1994 pennies? No, seriously. Grab a magnifying glass, turn it under the light. If you spot one with sharp lettering, crisp edges, and no mint mark beneath the date, you might be holding a miniature masterpiece. Let's break this down. First, no mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. But what makes the 1994 issue special isn't where it was made. It's how it was made. Experts discovered a small batch of coins that had an unusually high level of detail, a rare full strike on both obverse and reverse sides. These coins shimmer with precision. Lincoln's coat, the building lines of the memorial, all razor sharp. Combine that with pristine condition, what collectors call MS-70, and suddenly, you're not just holding copper and zinc, you're holding opportunity. Now here's where it gets emotional. Because behind every coin like this, there's a story. An old man who saved his pocket change for 40 years. A young woman who inherited her grandfather's jar of coins, only to find one penny that changed her life. Ordinary people. Extraordinary luck. And if that doesn't make you want to check your own pennies, what will? Here's the truth, 99.999% of people will hear this and do nothing. They'll say, it's just a penny. And tomorrow, someone else will sell their 1994 no mint mark Lincoln cent at auction for another 6 figures. So ask yourself, why not you? Take a few minutes tonight. Go through that jar. Check every 1994 penny. Look for coins that shine, coins that feel heavier, coins that seem a little too perfect. And if you find one that looks uncirculated, no scratches, no marks, no mint letter under the date, take it to a professional grading service. Because if it's the real deal, you might be holding your ticket to a $994,000 payday. But don't wait. These coins are being found. Every month, the number of undiscovered specimens drops. Every day you wait, your $1 million penny could end up in someone else's pocket. Funny thing, isn't it? All this time we chase big money, houses, stocks, gold, and yet, the universe hides a fortune inside the smallest coin in your hand, so maybe tonight, when you empty your pockets, you'll look a little closer. Because somewhere out there, a single 1994 Lincoln penny is about to rewrite someone's future. Will it be yours? If you found this story fascinating, don't just scroll away. Subscribe to this channel because we uncover hidden treasures just like this every week. You never know when the next video might reveal the coin sitting quietly in your home, worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement fund, so stay curious. Stay vigilant. And remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest wealth. They say money can't buy happiness, but what if a single penny, forgotten in your kitchen drawer, could buy you freedom, security, and a lifetime of peace? Pause. Imagine holding a 1-cent coin worth $995,000. Yes, 1 penny, almost $1 million. And here's the twist, it's not from the 1800s. It's not even rare in the way you think that it's from 1995, that a regular Lincoln Memorial penny, no mint mark, struck in Philadelphia, the kind you've probably seen 1,000 times. But one of these coins is changing lives. Sound effect. A faint clink of a penny landing on a table. SOY is the 1995 no mint mark Lincoln cent suddenly worth more than a luxury home? And more importantly, could one be sitting right in your pocket right now? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why collectors are paying close to $1 million for a coin most people spend without a second thought. Music shifts, investigative and curious. Let's rewind the story to 1995. Bill Clinton was president. The internet was a baby, and the US Mint was producing billions of pennies. But during that mass production, something unusual happened. A handful of coins, struck in Philadelphia, came out with a striking flaw. Their lettering looked different, their design, off-center, and their surfaces held a shimmering clarity that experts call a double die obverse, meaning the design on the front was struck twice, slightly misaligned. To the untrained eye, it looked ordinary. To a collector, it was a jackpot. The doubling on the words and created one of the most famous modern minting errors in US history. And because only a tiny fraction survived in flawless condition, these coins became the holy grail of late 20th century pennies. A small error turned into $1 million opportunity. Funny how life works that way, isn't it? Imagine the mint worker who made that error. If only he'd kept one for himself. He might be retired on a beach right now, sipping iced tea. But here's where things get really interesting. This coin didn't start out worth a fortune in 1995. It was worth 1 cent by the early 2000s. Collectors noticed by 2010, the bidding wars began. And today, a pristine 1995 no mint mark double die Lincoln penny has sold for up to $995,000. That's not a typo. That's the price of a single cent. In the right hands. Music grows more intense, motivational. Here's the truth most people will never hear. Wealth doesn't always hide in business deals or stock portfolios. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight, in your jar of loose change. You might be thinking, what are the odds that I have one? Well, here's a better question, why not check? Because every collector who's ever struck gold with a rare coin started with the same feeling. Doubt. Pause. Then, curiosity. If you have a 1995 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, inspect the word Liberty. If the letters look doubled, as if printed twice, and the coin's condition is excellent with no major scratches or discoloration, you may be holding one of the most valuable pennies ever made. And if it's graded MS-68 or higher, certified by the Professional Coin Grading Service, that's when the big money comes in. That's when collectors start offering 5, 6, even 7 figures. And here's the part most people don't realize. There's one more secret feature that can double the value instantly. But we'll get to that in a moment. What would you do if you found it? Would you sell it, frame it, or hold it as proof that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest rewards? Though, let's be honest, most of us would be calling our accountant before we finished our morning coffee. This isn't just about a coin, it's about possibility. It's about realizing that luck favors the curious, those who look closer when everyone else looks away. Now, that final secret I promised. the one that can double the value of your coin. It's the condition of the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial. If the steps of the memorial are fully visible, sharp, and untouched, collectors call that full steps. And it's a sign of a perfectly struck coin. That's the difference between a few $100s and nearly $1 million. So tonight, before you go to sleep, take one small action. Open that jar of change. Pull out your pennies. Because one of them might hold the key to your next chapter. A chapter of wealth, freedom, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing you saw value where others saw nothing. Pause. They say miracles are rare. But sometimes miracles are made of copper and weigh just 3.11 grams. This is the story of the 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. A reminder that even the smallest coin can carry the biggest fortune, and who knows? Maybe the next millionaire is watching this right now. What if I told you that the penny sitting quietly in your drawer could be worth nearly $1 million? Pause. That's right. A 1998 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin, the kind most people overlook, could change your financial story forever. No mint mark, no silver, just a humble copper-colored coin that some collectors would pay up to $998,000 for. Now, before you check your pockets, listen carefully. Because not every 1998 penny is a jackpot, but if yours matches a few secret details, you could be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. And yes, it's happened before. Let's rewind to 1998, a year of change, growth, and quiet history. While the world was busy preparing for a new millennium, the U.S. Mint struck billions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. Most were ordinary, common, forgotten, but a few, just a few, turned out to be extraordinary. Some 1998 Lincoln cents, struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark, contained microscopic anomalies, double dies, misaligned strikes, or extremely sharp proof-like finishes accidentally released into circulation. These errors transformed a 1-cent coin into a 6-figure collector's dream. Now imagine this. You pull out an old coin jar, brush off the dust, and spot a 1998 penny with no D or S. You flip it under the light, and something feels different. The lettering looks bold. The strike feels crisp. Lincoln's eyes stare a bit sharper. That's your first clue. Coin collectors, or numismatists, as they call themselves, know that rarity isn't about age alone. It's about imperfection, the beautiful, accidental mistakes that slip past machines and inspectors. And these tiny details? They can turn a penny into a house. Hard to believe, right? A coin worth less than your morning coffee could pay for a lifetime supply of it. But it's not just about luck, it's about awareness. When collectors started discovering a handful of 1998 no-mint mark pennies with double die obverse, especially around the word, auction prices skyrocketed. Some coins were sold for thousands. Others were graded MS-70, meaning near-perfect condition, and drew offers approaching $1 million. Because here's the truth. Condition is everything. A worn penny might be worth a few hundred. A flawless one, mirror-sharp, untouched, could hit that life-changing $998,000 mark. So how do you know if your 1998 Lincoln penny is the one? Grab a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom lens. Look for any doubling in the lettering, especially on check the condition. A brilliant, red-tinted shine with no scratches means high-grade potential. Weigh it. A normal 1998 penny should weigh around 2.5 grams. Anything heavier or lighter could mean a rare composition error. If your coin ticks these boxes, don't clean it, ever. Cleaning destroys value. Instead, store it carefully and get it graded by a trusted company like PCGS or NGC. Because here's where the story gets real. Every month, hidden treasures like these appear at small-town auctions, estate sales, and forgotten drawers, and collectors compete to claim them. And while most people scroll through their phones, a few wise ones are quietly turning pocket change into generational wealth. So, let me ask you something. What if the next $1 million penny is already in your home? What if it's been sitting in that jar by the kitchen sink, waiting for you to notice? Would you let it slip away again? The 1998 Lincoln Memorial no-mint mark penny? Proof that fortune doesn't always shine in gold. Sometimes, it hides in copper. So check your change. Check your collections. Because one coin could change everything. And remember, opportunity doesn't knock. Sometimes, it jingles. If you want to uncover the rarest coins hiding in plain sight, hit subscribe, stay alert, And let's turn pocket change into prosperity. Because your journey to wealth could start with a single penny.